it's difficult to take these people seriously when they don't even have basic literacy skills. Skills. Well, then, okay, all right. So this should be a capital M and this should be a capital M. Okay. But anyways, what I want to talk about is, now here she is talking about someone's age, right? And the fact that they're spelling a few things wrong, My mom is 69 and knows what a troll is. You clearly have the internet, or you want to, but she just wants to go on about, people and how they spell. Now, in this particular podcast, Rich chose to show pictures of the boys as they were found, naked, dead. And he chose to show that. He states that, every aspect of the case should be looked at as a part of it. And Mystery Maverick, she kind of agrees. Unfortunately, these pictures are necessary. Like it or not, the boys are part of the crime scene. To find out what happened that night, you have to look back at the whole crime scene. I've even gone as far as to create my own autopsy diagram so that I don't have to show the full images for my next episode. In addition, these photos were originally posted all over the web by a non-supporter without permission. Rich has permission from the family who are also victims in the case. Well, it's not about permission. It's about when it's disgusting and when it's not. Even with permission, it's disgusting to show it. Now, she says a non-supporter who posted them all over the internet without permission. Nobody needs permission to post those pictures that came from the crime scene. Nobody needs permission. Okay? And the people, we have all seen those. Okay? But when I use them to discuss the case, it was disgusting, I was a sick human being, shouldn't be using it, blah, blah, blah. But when Rich uses it, he gets permission. What's the difference? These are dead bodies. So, and somebody was giving a little bit of crap for putting the pictures. If you like looking at the pictures, they feel like it's disrespectful. No, it's not necessary. And here she goes. Here she goes again. Well, I suggest you go to non-supporter, post them all over the net, and tell them, blah, blah, blah. See, she just, so since the non-supporters did what you feel is wrong, you'll do it too, right? But here's the thing. You keep saying it's necessary. Yeah, Rich doesn't need permission from the family either because they don't own them pictures. They're evidence. Ridiculous permission. Okay, so I asked this question, and I'm pretty sure I won't get a response from it. They keep on talking about how necessary that it is to discuss every aspect of the case, things that were talked about in trial, evidence, stuff like that. Every aspect of the case should be discussed. However, when I brought up the fact that Darlie said that Dennis Stahl was molesting her, Rich not only would not discuss it, he was angry about it. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about that part of the case. We cannot talk about what Dennis may have done to Darlie, or he has done according to her. We can't talk about that. But we can show you exactly what Darlie did to Devon and Damon. We can't talk about that sexual abuse. But these pictures, we can show them because they're part of the case. So what I wrote was, that's correct. If we are going to speak on the case, then in every aspect that was spoke on or admitted to evidence should be discussed. So in your opinion, do you think that the sexual abuse that Darlie stated on the stand she received from her stepfather beginning at age 8 would cause her to have mental issues growing up? What is your opinion on mothers who have children report to them that they are being molested by the dad or stepdad and they do not report that abuse and stay with the man who did it? Also, if everything, including pictures of the boys' dead bodies, should be shown and discussed, why is it that this podcast and others absolutely refuse to talk about it and even get downright mad when it's brought up? The dead bodies are fine as long as it helps Darlie. So that's what I want to know. Why can't you talk about that, Rich? I'm not challenging you, but I'm just saying, why can't you talk about that? Why? Because it's offensive to somebody? Do you think Devon and Damon wanted their bodies to be portrayed in a group, their dead bodies to be portrayed in a group like that. I don't see anything wrong with you posting it. I really don't. But you'll post something like that, Rich, but you don't want to talk about the fact that Darlie was molested by her stepdad, and the family did nothing about it, and they protected him. And to this day, they're using you and other people to protect a man who molested a child, and she had to live with that. So if they will protect a man who molested a child and don't want to talk about it, and are hush-hush about it, what's that tell you they'll do for Darlie? I'd like to discuss that, Rich. I would like to discuss the molestation. I would like to discuss the fact that she let her boys go with him after that. I would like to discuss the fact that she said, I only let him go because Danelle was there with him. And Danelle claims she didn't know anything about it, so how was she supposed to watch? I'd like to discuss the parenting of Darlie Key, who allowed this to happen and got counseling for herself, but not for Darlie. I think it's huge on our end that she started out like this, being molested, resenting her mother, resenting her stepfather, probably resenting inadvertently the two children that were born with those two that she had to watch all the time. I think that leads to a lot of psychosis. It's like I told you, Rich, in a private conversation. I said this molestation and the hiding of it and the forcing her to live with it is the key to this case. Where did the psychosis start at? Psychosis has to start somewhere. And the fact that they protect him. So I put this question out for Mystery Maverick, and I don't expect an answer. Because if she answers this question on Rich's podcast, he's going to be mad at her about it. But why do they get so mad? Let's do it. Why be so touchy about that? Because it makes Darlie look bad. And it makes Danelle look bad because she said her father never did that. So which one of them is fucking lying?